Cosplay Tea Time, a fun community of cosplayers bringing you podcast recordings where we'll talk about different animes, television shows, the art of cosplaying, holidays, and of course today's convention, which is Season 7's one and only convention, where we'll be talking about RetroGameCon. So, very excited to hear more about that, but first I want to introduce our lovely guest in T-Cypress here, starting with...
Hey everybody, glad to be back on here. I'm of course Hackley Attacking. I go by he, him, and his as my pronouns, and you can definitely find me on, of course, pretty much YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, my Patreon, and of course TikTok under the name Ackley Attack TV, and of course my Instagram as Ackley Attack 4427, and of course I'm here, of course cosplaying Ash Ketchum from in his OG outfit for Pokemon, and well, I can't forget having good old Pikachu with me to go along with it. And yeah, I am really excited to talk about this convention, RetroGameCon, or I guess if you prefer its actual name, RetroGameCon, because yeah, I've got a lot to talk about this one, but I'll go ahead and pass it off to Deku as we speak.
Hey everybody, I know it's been a while. It's Jason, or pronouns are he, him. Change the usernames on TikTok and Instagram to Crimson Fire cosplayer now. So you know where to find me. You know where to find me.
Awesome. Well, welcome both of you to today's topic. Very excited to get into that. But as always, my name is Jen. I'm the founder of Cosplay Tea Time as well as today's host. I go by she, her pronouns. You can find me Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Jen.Cosplays45. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into today's topic, which is, again, about RetroGameCon, or even the acronym RGC, is a video game expo held in upstate New York. The convention hosts numerous voice actors and actresses, video game tournaments, tabletop games, free play consoles, and vintage computer exhibit panels. And something cool that I saw on the website that was very different, I'm very excited to learn more about, is live music and musicals. I think that's so fun and different. That one can go and watch. RetroGameCon is usually held in the middle of October at the On Center in Sucrose, New York. Today we will be discussing our own experiences attending RetroGameCon in hopes to share awareness for other folks who are interested in attending the convention. Alright, so our first question, the easy peasy one, is how many times have you attended RetroGameCon?
Well, that's actually a pretty easy one on my part because, if anything, that's actually one convention I always love going to whenever I hang up to the city. The hang, in case a lot of you guys want to know how it's pronounced, it's actually pronounced Syracuse. So
my God. I'm not from that area. It shows. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. But anyways, yeah, I've been going to that convention ever since 2014. Actually, I've been to it about 9 times so far. To which probably by the time this goes up, I've probably already have gone, which would have been my 10th time going this year. So I think it's safe to say that throughout my experiences, and even putting up my vlogs on that's a convention on my channel for sure, that will give pretty much a nice little middle ground on my part. Of course, my time going to that convention for well over a decade now.
That's pretty impressive. I've never been there once, but I would love to go out of state to other cons at some point in the future. Just not right now.
Yeah. I'm also over here with the big fat zero. I've not been there. I've heard all about it from Ackley, other cosplayers, and even now following their Instagram page. So, but yeah, one day I haven't attended yet. There's power in that word, so I haven't attended yet. All right, up next we have, how do you prepare for RetroGameCon?
Well, pretty much on my part, I would usually prep up for pretty much that convention, much like what I would do with any convention that's local to pretty much to my area and stuff, or pretty much out of state, if anyone would prefer. I think to help reduce crunch time. On my part, I would actually work on my cosplays several months in advance ahead of its debut and stuff. So by the time the weekend of the convention finally rolls around, I would actually get out my cosplays and stuff out of my closet and fully prepped and everything and stuff, including some essentials I'll actually bring, like of course my cameras for like video and pictures and stuff, and of course my wallet in case I need to buy anything, because you may never know something that might pique your interest. Of course, on that front, and of course, sometimes I would usually get out my ticket and stuff that I would print if I actually buy online and stuff. So that way it can actually help out in the long run for sure. And I do know people who actually work for the convention as like a volunteer or something. They wouldn't have to worry about that. They can get their tickets pretty much if they're willing to volunteer and stuff, and they're badging everything. So at least it's what I can gather on my part. If of course nothing else is going on my part, but I think it really does help reduce con crunch time.
I've never been there before. I would just prepare the normal ways. I usually do, so.
The normal way. This is the way. Jason way. I like that. So let's see. I've never been, but how I get ready is I get my index finger ready to like photos and click play on YouTube videos and vlogs and all that stuff. So that could be one way. I did see on the website there is an after party. I believe like after one of the days or something like that. So I just want to say for folks out there that were interested in attending the after party, make sure you're well rested, you've had enough sleep or took a good nap. Make sure you have some good shoes. If you've been walking around most of the day, you want to make sure your feet are comfortable so you're ready to walk around some more and even dance. And also to staying hydrated. Water, 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 water. But tea is good too. So we like tea here. Water is excellent. So I just wanted to point that out as well. All right, up next we have, what is the general price for attending RetroGameCon? And this includes parking, tickets, getting ready, and how much cash to bring for Artist Alley.
Well, pretty much on my part, I think for tickets for starters, usually I think pretty much for each day individually, they can price it pretty much anywhere from in between from about $31 to $37 at the most. So while of course going for the entire weekend, all in full, can price to about pretty much of anything. I think right around well over $70 to $75 at the most. At least it's what I can gather. But at the same time, though, I think it would also pretty much you also have to factor in, of course, stuff you would buy for, like, say, vendors and artists, or even autographs and pictures for many of the guests that are actually showing up there as well. And that's just to name a few. And let's not forget to mention food and water as well, in case you start to get starving during the time at the convention for sure. And it is pretty optional. Sometimes there's restaurants close by to the convention center, but at the same time, the way that I usually help save walking distance on my part, I would usually go down to their concession stand and actually order food from there as well. So yeah, if anything, I think you might want to prepare yourself a large wallet like I do if you do want to spend money at the convention.
I never heard of this convention until now, so I want to know the price of everything.
That's all good. Let's see. Yeah, so on my end, from the research that I did, I saw that there is paid venue parking. So there's, I believe, like a parking lot across the street that you can go to. You can park there and then walk across. Just make sure you do so safely. In the open lot, or there's an adjacent parking garage for a reasonable daily rate. So make sure you check those out before you go. There is free street parking in downtown on the weekends. And then for tickets, on the website I saw 3-day pass for $65.38. If you just want the ticket for Friday, it's $30. Saturday ticket only is $36, and Sunday only is $30. And then something interesting that I didn't see like kids, like how young they can be to be free. I know with 4-State Comic Con, I think it's like 5 and under is free. Don't know about this one, but I did see like family packs. Like if you're like a family of 4 or 6, or if you have like a big party of people going, you can get like a discounted raid. Just like pay like a flat fee and like have people attend. And I think that's pretty genius idea. I might save a couple extra bucks, because I mean I thought $25 ticket for 2 day for 4-State was a lot, but when I saw 30, I was like, I will never complain again. Love 4-State. So yeah, so just make sure you have plenty of money. Definitely want to plan beforehand. So definitely gonna spend like a good 4 or 5 months, even 6 months beforehand, planning before going to RetroGameCon. So let's see. Up next we have, how crowded is RetroGameCon?
Well, pretty much on my part, I think it does kind of differ pretty much from what I could gather. For Friday and Sunday, I think there would usually not that be many people, but sometimes halfway towards full capacity on my part. But for Saturday, that's where things do start to get really crowded for the most part. And it does kind of differ when you really think about it. Sometimes it does involve some of the guests that people are really excited to meet, while other times they just want to experience the convention for themselves, from what I can gather. But yeah, either way, it does get crowded pretty much for the most part, but thankfully not too crowded. It actually does have a good amount of people coming in for anyone who wants to attend. So yeah, either way, I think you might want to prepare yourself for some areas that could get crowded, but other times there's a lot of breathing room during the venue while the convention is taking place.
As I said before, I know I've never been there before, but sometime in the future, let's hope.
Yep, we'll get there. Let me see. So I saw some numbers. It could be, no more than 10,000 people within a given weekend, which may not seem like a whole lot if, like Ackley said, if there's like breathing room periods where it's like a little bit more open, or there's some space where you can just kind of chill for a while, then it doesn't sound as bad. And yeah, definitely on like Sundays, I've noticed like conventions usually do get a bit more quieter and stuff, because either people have other stuff to do or got work the next day, so, or the rain keeps them away. That's what happened with Harrisburg. It was like, it's a rainy Sunday, like nobody was really there. It was so quiet. But it is, with RetroGameCon, it is 3 days, so I wonder if like the longer time period might stretch the crowds out a bit more, to say like, maybe if you do have 3-day ticket, then maybe you go like a couple hours this day, a couple hours that day, a couple hours that day. I mean, I'm sure there's folks that do stay there the whole time, so I did wonder that too. Just one day I'll research that. Get back to you all. Let's see. Up next we have a fun question, which are, what activities are there to do at RetroGameCon?
Oh, there's a whole lot from what I can gather, and I can name a ton by far. And well, I guess for starters is of course the after party, as you mentioned, which usually takes place right around on Saturday night during the time at the convention. But there's plenty of others that you would normally expect. Like, of course, you still got your panels and events at some of the panel rooms, and even the cosplay contests for both kids and adults as well. But at the same time, though, they actually do also offer plenty of others, like, of course, video game free play and stuff, and even tournaments at the same time. That is, of course, a ton of fun. But at the same time, they also do offer some free play and stuff for, like, say, tabletop games or board games as well. So yeah, it doesn't actually differ to just video games. It does rely on, of course, tabletop and board games at the same time as well, and even card games as well, that I should mention, which is also a very nice touch. And not to mention, pretty much since like 2022, they have added in, of course, a brand new section, which is of course a cosplay lounge as well, where of course they actually do offer like showing like some animated movies and stuff down there, and pretty much serving as like a nice pretty much a nice area for cosplayers to come and chill and relax after roaming around the convention for a bit. To which probably by the time this goes live, I've probably already been down there, mainly helping volunteering to help monitor that place as well. And yeah, they actually do all of that, but they've also adding stuff like a cosplayer meet and greet and an art swap as well, and not to mention they even offer like spots for like photo shoots, to which I'm sure we'll get to in a later question. And of course they even provide a good list of course some cosplay meetups and photo shoots events as well. And yeah, that's just to name me a few. And I think I know some time ago they actually did announce one new event that they were originally going to do this year, which is the cosplay variety show, mainly devoted to cosplay performances and stuff. But sadly, due to some things from what I've learned from the people running that convention, that probably won't happen until right around next year. But I really do like the idea, and I do hope that will finally come into play later on. So yeah, at least that's so many that I can count at the top of my head for sure, but I'm sure we'll take all day, so I'll go ahead and move on from there.
Good, all the tabletop games. Ooh. Oh, that would bring back so many memories for me. Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day.
We have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast recording coming up. If you're interested, always attend. Friday, October 10th is the recording day. So, yeah, I think the tabletop games would be fun. I didn't see card games, but I'm glad you brought them up because I enjoy a good card game every now and again. And I think too, just seeing like the old like consoles and held hand games and just like bringing back that nostalgia and excitement and all that. I think that would be like so wonderful to experience. So one day, one day we'll get up there. So yeah, and like I said before, I feel like the music part's different. I don't think I've been to a convention yet where they've had live music or even musicals, like Broadway type of musicals. Like that's really fun and different. So I would love to experience that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Let's see. So we talked about this a little bit, but we'll bring it back into the conversation, which is what is the food/food pricing like at RetroGameCon?
Well, from what I can remember at the top of my head, it does kind of differ when you think about it. Sometimes for like water and stuff, they would usually go for like say maybe about $3 to $4 at the host from what I can gather. But at least it's what I could say. While at the same time for food and stuff, they can price it maybe about say $15 to $20, maybe a little bit more than that from what I can gather. But either way, as long as of course you'll have enough money in your wallet to actually afford to actually get some nice food, like I said, I think you'll be in good hands. So yeah, it does kind of differ for the most part. Sometimes you can actually go for their concession stand that they have at the venue, or of course, if you're feeling adventurous and taking some pretty much some nice walking distance, there may be some restaurants close by as well that could really help you benefit in the long run.
I never know, but it just depends on like who's selling the food and how much they're charging. So
Yeah. And sometimes food and even bottled water is going to be more pricey at convention versus outside. And some conventions are picky. They're like, no, you can't bring outside food. But then some of us are sneaky with our backpacks and we're like, go bring in my crackers. Like, see Jason rubbing his hands. That's fun. Yeah, I didn't really see it like listed on the website, so I'm glad actually you've been there and able to talk about it and everything. Because some conventions are nice, and they'll be like, oh, like here's a list of food, or here's like a caterer, like here's where the food's gonna be, here's what to expect. And then sometimes you get there, and either they have like I've seen like whiteboard, I've seen electronic signboard, I've seen even like little papers of just like, oh, this is the food, this is the price, let us know if you have allergies, which is very nice. And lately I've been seeing conventions do that. Like if you have allergies, like just request things. So yeah, definitely want to research beforehand. If you're gonna eat at convention, even just like a light snack. in the midst of walking around, or as Ackley said, roaming around. I'm like, I'm gonna be one of the ones roaming around. I like that. So, or taking a look, seeing what's around, what kind of restaurants are available. So, I'm sure there's some yummy stuff out there. All right, up next. Let's see. Are there places to do photo shoots at RetroGameCon? So this can be inside the convention and outside the convention if there's places nearby.
Yeah, I think there are a good number of areas in the convention center for like photo shoots and stuff. Like, of course, one good example is that pretty much if they have like a cosplay photographer and everything willing to take pictures of you and your cosplays and stuff, they would usually have their like photo booths and everything spread throughout most parts of the convention. Like sometimes they'll do it over by vendors and artists, but other times they can actually do it in like close by to one of the ballrooms of the convention center from what I can gather. So yeah, at least pretty much inside the convention, it would actually help you out in the long run. Just as long as, of course, any stuff that you do outside of it, just well, pretty much have to cooperate with the convention center's security system by far. Just want to mention that for sure, but yeah, either way, that's what I can gather from inside the convention, while outside, honestly, as someone who's actually been up to Syracuse multiple times for like past and present, there's like quite a whole lot of areas outside of the convention throughout little parts of the city that could actually function as like really good photo shoots and stuff, and yeah, I've seen plenty of people who have already done that through like pictures and stuff I've seen on social media and stuff as well, whether it be pretty much during the ones throughout October or way back in the past when they first started out, or at least when I started going to, when they actually used to run the convention during November as well. So yeah. But at least from what I can gather on my part, but yeah, it does kind of differ if you're willing to go to the convention for sure. But hey, I say any spot for a photo shoot is a really good spot.
I I've never been there, so I can't really give a fair answer.
That's fair. So I was just gonna say, I feel like since there's so many cosplayers that do attend, I'm sure there's plenty of places where they're able to go and do photo shoots, whether it's inside against pretty backdrop, especially if it's raining outside and you don't want to get your cosplay wet. I get that. So, or even outside. Hopefully, October has some pretty fair weather. Really depends, because, well, no, wait, you guys are further northeast, so you don't really get hit by hurricanes as much. I might be wrong, but Beckley, you want to comment on that? Do you guys get hurricanes? Or any rain?
Well, I guess in all honesty, not that very often, but maybe like it's one of those once in a blue moon type of occurrences.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about that too, because it's hurricane season, and I know Jason gets hit by a lot of hurricanes over in Florida. And then sometimes where I'm at, like in the Northeast and everything, like we either get a bunch of rain or wind, or we don't get anything at all. So, and then I didn't know, like, as the hurricane moves up the coast, if it lessens or not. So, but yeah, just keep an eye on the weather, watch the weather forecast. Hopefully there's no humidity, because that's the worst in cosplay. So, but yes. All right, let's see. A couple more questions. Our next one is, what is your favorite memory at Retro Game Con?
Oh yeah, I can name a ton during the past decade going to that Sega convention. Sometimes I think it would pretty much differ. Like sometimes I would get to meet some of the exciting guests that were there that I was really excited to meet. Like pretty much let's say well in the past I've met a good number of people like say the angry video game nerd who actually got me inspired to actually go to that Sega convention, and plenty of others as well. Like of course Pat the NES Punk. Metal Jesus Rocks, and John Riggs, and that's just to name me a few. So yeah, I guess either way, that's one good example from the past as well. To even try my hand at participating in the cosplay contest as well. That I've done multiple times on my part, and and yeah, and even some of the most embarrassing moments as well. Like, of course, like one moment a couple of years ago, I thought I lost pretty much my digital camera that I brought with me to take pictures with, but only to realize that I have it in my bag the whole time. So yeah, that did get a good laugh, despite on how embarrassing it was for sure. But see, I think if I were have to pick my all-time favorite by far, I think it would probably have to be during the time of RetroGameCon in 2022 from Why Can't It Gather, and that actually does differ because around that time I debuted my Ballerina Barbara cosplay, and I did pretty much participate in the cosplay contest in that, and even did a little performance in that, and I ended up winning best performance in the craftsmanship side of things, and I actually did meet up with one cosplayer who I've know of by far. I even run into multiple times. I even worked as one of the judges at one convention I was at earlier this year. Yeah, like of course they were cosplaying as Goro from Genshin Impact at the same time, and we did have a nice little picture together as well. And probably I think my all-time favorite would have to be getting to meet three of the voice actors from Genshin Impact as well, and even attending their panel on Sunday. And I can definitely yeah, and I gotta say, me and those voice actors who were part of that game, consisting of course, Kelly Baskin, Lila Berzins, Sean Chiplock, and, of course, the one I was hyped to meet the most, Christina V. They are just absolutely incredible all the way, and yeah, and I can name quite a few others that I can list at the top of my head. Pretty much in the years since then, for sure. But for now, I think some of the great memories I had during RetroGameCon 2022 actually is all the more incredible on my part, and I did consider it as like one of my favorites during the past several years going to that convention.
I have no comment, but one day I shall.
That was my comment. I'm like, I'm dreaming, I'm scheming, researching, talking about this. So it would be nice to go. It is on the Northeast, but it'd be quite the trip for me. So a lot of rest stops, but one day. Alright, let me see. We just got one more question, which is what other information / advice do you have for viewers out there about RetroGameCon?
Well, pretty much on my part, as someone who has actually been to that convention multiple times throughout the years for sure, and even actually have really great connections with the people running that convention, to which they are really nice people by far. Yeah, I say be prepared to go to this one as like you would do like any other convention by far for sure, because if anything, I know a lot of people might not have known about it for sure. But hey, take it from me as someone who has been to it multiple times. I've even done multiple videos on my channel on that convention alone for sure. And of course, if you're looking for other options, pretty much aside from the main convention as well, they do have plenty of other events as well. Like, of course, very recently they had RetroGameCon Spring Edition that they had a few months prior for sure, to which I thought that was a whole lot of fun from what I could gather, and certainly a nice little warm-up beforehand for sure, and not to mention, if you're unfamiliar with that convention, they do have like a whole lineup of course, a museum lineup of pretty much the convention for sure. So that way you'll know the history of course, everything that goes on for the convention in the past to where they are right now for sure. That could really help get you up to speed for sure. So yeah, but either way, I say definitely take it from me as someone who has actually been to it multiple times for sure. I still stand by my point in saying that RetroGameCon is still my all-time favorite convention. I always love going to every single year, and there's no sign of slowing down anytime soon. And I do highly encourage anyone, whether it be anyone from my state or anyone outside of my state for sure, to actually give it a fair shot and maybe cram that into, of course, your convention schedule for sure. I think it would be a really really helpful for their part for sure. And let's not forget to mention there are even some people who came all the way from Canada to actually attend that said convention as well. So,
Wow.
so yeah, but at least it's like a gather for sure. But I still highly encourage it all the way.
I wish I could say something, but not today.
I was gonna say, just have fun. Stereotypical stuff. And oh, I wanted to mention too, since it is like mid-October-ish, dress in layers. You know, if you're able to have a cosplay that has like different layers or has like a cute sweater or something. Because like sometimes in the morning it's like kind of chilly, it's a little cold. Then by the afternoon it warms up. And then at nighttime it's back to being cold. Especially now it's getting darker early. Boo, but that's okay. So I did want to mention that too. I think that's the only advice I have. Yeah, just have a great time. Be safe and all that. So drink your water.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Peace. So let's see. And with that, that was all of the questions that I had on my list. But as always, I like to turn over to the guest and tea sippers, see if they have anything else to add or have questions for folks in the tea room or in the chat out there. So, Ackley, anything to add?
Pretty much nothing on my part for sure, but I'm really glad we finally got to talk about this for sure. And I just hope, with of course everything that I've said, talking about my past experiences, and of course my encouragement for others who haven't actually attended, will definitely help out in the long run for sure. If you're actually planning on going for sure, and even if you didn't attend this year's RGC for sure, then don't worry about a thing. They've already got everything set up for next year, so that way you'll get yourself fully prepared for sure. So I say you're definitely gonna be in good hands for sure. So I say definitely keep up to date with them on, of course, their website and their social media, so that way you can get yourself up to speed.
I got nothing to add.
Yeah, nothing. All right, so we'll leave it at that. So yes, so that was RetroGameCon. Hope you all enjoyed watching. This is our one and only convention. So I'll put a question out there for folks in the chat. What conventions would you like Cosplay Tea Time to cover? See if there's any information we can try to share. See if anybody's attended, or if we know anybody who's attended, then we can just hey, come on here. Speaking of which, if you are a cosplayer out there and you've watched our podcast and you would like to join Cosplay Tea Time, make sure to message us on our Instagram. It's cosplay_tea_time. Look for little mouse. He sits in a little teacup surrounded by books and flowers. That's Mousy, our mascot. Must be 18 years or older to join, just for safety and all that. Make sure you follow and support our lovely guest and tea sippers. Watch a couple more episodes here too. Check out their channels, all that good stuff. So, and just want to say too, thank you all so much for the support over the years. Thank you for watching our videos, checking out all the different things. So, and with that, we're going to take off into our little corners of the world, but just want to say thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you're taking care, staying safe, and we'll see you next time. And as always, keep sipping away. Bye, everyone.
Pika pika!